Hello guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I posted any videos. Mainly only reason is I got them too long and YouTube's got bad things going on, I guess. I don't know what their problem is. Anyway, I have lost a lot of episodes here, obviously. I apologize for that in advance, and I think one of the biggest things is I want to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm doing here. And I'll pull the camera off a little bit more and I'm going to explain what I'm doing in a lot of great detail. And I want to full attention to the fact is there are panel lines going on the airplane because I lost a whole bunch of footage. Now, you can kind of see them. The one thing is I want to tell you though, if you've watched all of them and you had the last of the videos, you guys would be painting and installing your equipment right now. Now, if you guys are going to go and you're going to detail this jet like I'm going to do, and this is going to be a very long, lengthy process. I've been on this thing for about 6 hours today and carefully going through and measuring everything 10 bazillion times and giving myself a headache. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're building the Mears model, it's an A model. It is not an F, it's not an H, and there's a lot of differences. And they're not going to be in there. And that's what's going to separate it from the Air World. That's going to separate it from the Tomahawk and everything else, is because it is an A model. And so one of the big things is you could make it an F, you can do all these other things you want to do, but it is in fact an A model. It's one of those deals you just can't get out of. And you could make it in an F, you could do it. You don't need it. And there's been a lot of guys that have asked me about this. I got the drawings for the detail set, and thank God I looked at them, because I noticed for 1 second in time there that there was a couple things missing on there. And after looking at the A and the F model, I've noticed that the noses are completely and totally different shaped. They're a lot sharper on the A model. You could make it wider. I thought when I was building this that I was making a huge mistake because I was looking at the wrong airplane. So I actually lucked out and actually built the right airplane for what I did. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I was really absolutely floored that I didn't notice the difference. And being a Boeing structures mechanic and actual airframe mechanic, I'm surprised I didn't see it faster. One of these is worth its weight in gold when you're doing details, guys, and I can't emphasize it enough, and everything else, because you're going to be able to go through and find out your gun placements. You're going to find everything there is, because from what I've seen from this and the others, the doors are just a little bit different. But on the A model, I want you to pay real close attention on the drawings. The lower gun, and I did the first 2 guns, it sits back full. It sits back a little bit further, and it's actually farther down. And it does, you're going to get them close anyway. But if you're building for scale, you're being picky, guys, I want to go to Top Gun in the worst way. I want this airplane to look as accurate as I can possibly make it, even though it was never intended to ever be a scale jet. It was intended to be a sport jet. Go out and fly it every weekend and just go crazy. I added a lot of stuff to this airplane. I could have been done with it a long time ago, but I wanted more. And I still want more. And I think one of the biggest things is that I built a lot of things in here. I changed up a few things that I knew were not right on the airplane. I knew that I needed to change up quite a few things. That's why this sits up a little bit higher. And the canopy was a little bit of a and it was a little bit of configuring to make it work. But I did it. And the one thing is it just, I guess in the bottom line is that you guys have to understand that it's all going to be on you on how far you're willing to go with this. Now, Carton Alexander built my landing gear for me, and it does rotate, and I'm sure that in time that you'll see once I install it, you're going to see exactly why I left the bottom uncut. And by the way, Carton, you're unreal. You're just an amazing guy. And I've met more good people doing this hobby than I've ever seen anywhere, anything I've done. I mean, I thought musicians were a lot of fun, but no, they're not. Anyway, I think one of the biggest things is when you get ready to start doing this, a lot of you guys have a lot of really fantastic, awesome ways of doing this. I do it a way that I was taught to by watching other videos and things like that and getting into understanding. There's a lot of guys out there that have placed a lot of good information about doing panel lines out there. I haven't seen a bad video, and I've seen some that I do and don't really care for, but I'm going to make this thing crazy looking, okay? It's a war machine. We're not building a brand new jet. We're building a freaking beat up, freaking shot at. This one might have got run into by a Jeep here and there, might have a panel replaced. We're building a war dog, okay? And we're also building the 309th group, and there's certain things they did and things like that that make them kind of special to that unit. A lot of the things they did. For instance, this will be all painted black all the way to here, from here all the way back, boom, boom. It will have all the full markings, it'll have everything on it. I am building the hinges down there. I'm going to simulate them. I was going to make those doors open, but the more I look at it, the more I don't want to do that. And it's very important that you guys understand you don't want to compromise too much in this. This comes off extremely easy. It's not a problem to put everything in this airplane and make it work wonders. There's a lot of real estate in there. It's a big airplane. Every bit of the electronics I got and everything else is going to prove it. Everything's got its place. It's a very well planned out piece of equipment, really. It's essentially a big giant robot, and it will actually it'll actually show you guys a lot of really cool instances with everything. Now, I did a lot of body work over this, and I got damn near a week and a half since I shot a video on this. It took me a long time to get it straightened out. And I told you guys, it looked great, and when it got glassed, it looked like, wow, that's going to be nothing. It's going to sand off. Wrong. Guys, I am not a pro builder. I love what I do, but I am not a professional. And I don't build, but maybe, gosh, it takes me years to get one done. It's taken me a year to build this one. So there's a lot of things, and money and all this other stuff that comes out to play. I'm not limited to a lot, but I do have a family and they come first. So this always comes to when it can be done. But I'm going to show you with the camera off here now. I'm going to show you a few things that are just going to really, I'm hoping that a lot of you guys will take a lot of your builds to the next level, and maybe you'll see why I put so much time into certain things into this. Because its personality is starting to wake up. And when I say that, I mean all of the work, all the time and everything is finally starting to show its payday. And with what I have done on it, you're going to see some really cool points about this airplane now, because it is starting to it's starting to show its personality big time. And when you get to looking at it, guys, you start looking at things once they start going, and it will absolutely go from looking like that over there, basic plain Jane. I've got some lines drawn down there, got to clean up a little bit, but once you get into there and look at it from this angle, I did this intentionally because these guns do not take long to put in, and I'm going to show you how I do that. It's very simple, and I'm just using simply brass tubing, and I just cut it and stick it in there, and I'll show you how I do it. And it's very simple. I got to go down and get some more. I'm a little bit short on it. I ruined one, so anyway, I'm getting ready to put one in. And the top one is one that you're gonna have to, you're not gonna like cutting into it, but it does actually go in. It's very long, and it's compared to the rest of them. And this I'm not worried about because I'm gonna have to do a little bit more body work on here, but this was the whole thing I needed to do. And with this side done, I can do this without messing with that. It's okay. I start doing these things, I do them a little differently than other guys. Looks like I got a latch that moved on me. I'll fix it, and I'll get to it later. But anyway, I do like to go through and check the details on things and make sure that everything's really nice and even and straight, and getting the details that need to be in there. It does pay to put them in. The radome, I just simply drew it on there, and then I just taped around it. And the one thing is, the gun doors and all this other stuff, it just takes time to do them. There's a lot of fillets that go in this, and actually I wanted to show you that because I actually did put them in. I did them before I did the panel lines, because I will come back and actually put the panel line in and the door part that goes in there. And there is a lot of panel lines. There's gun doors, there's ammunition doors that go underneath there. There's a lot of panel lines. And this is where the jet starts to really get it. You start seeing lines going, and then you get a few of them on. You look back at it and you go, oh yeah. And then a lot of the little things that I told you about that I was doing, they become superficial. They become part of the damages done. They become part of the weathering process. All these little things are there. But guys, if you're just gonna fly your jet, finish sand it, seal it, and shoot it, and get your colors on there, it'll still look amazing. But this is just a part of the build that, to me, makes it all the worthwhile. This is what makes having an automated pilot and a sliding canopy and speed brakes and rotating landing gear and gear doors and lights and all that stuff and whatever, that's what makes a lot of this thing worth doing to me. So I invite you guys to check this out. And I'm going to warn you now that Chartpak tape is not cheap, and it's not. And I tried to find the best deals I could find, and the best deals I could find were actually on Amazon. I got 4 rolls for about $60, and I don't think it's going to be enough for everything else I'm doing, because the wing tanks, I started those actually, and there's a lot of little pieces and parts that are going to go in and get done here. So stay tuned, we're getting there. And I do apologize for losing a few of the damn stupid videos that I shot, because YouTube said the content wasn't any good. So anyway, go figure. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. See you in the funny papers.